get off all SSRIs? It's a very commonly asked question here at Microdose U. I'm going to share some stories and tackle that for you once and for all today. Welcome to Microdose U. I am Dr. Dave.
Enter the world of magic mushrooms with Microdose U.
Hey there, how are you? Welcome back. I'm Dr. Dave here, and thank you so much for being with me here. I really and truly appreciate it when you take time out of your day and spend a little bit with me. And we're going to make today worthwhile for you for sure. Before we get into today's episode about how to get off or why I got off of SSRIs, so I'm going to explain a lot about this. I just want to share a few really quick things. Very, very important. We have a webinar, a free webinar coming up. It is going to be Thursday, September 5th, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. The title is called Unlocking the Mysteries of Your Dreams. It is going to be perhaps the best webinar to date that we have ever done. Yeah, I've got Dr. Denise Moret, doctor of psychology, plant medicine expert, and dream expert, helping me out on this episode, and I'm not on this webinar, I should say. And we're going to make this really, really valuable for you. We're going to teach you so much about how to unlock the mysteries of dreams and how do they fit into your life? What do they tell you? What do they tell you about your life? What's happened? What's going to happen? What may be happening? And all kinds. Oh my God, it's going to be great. I can't even go into detail here, but the sign up form, really simple, microdoseu.com/class. As I said, it is free. Really appreciate it if you do sign up, if you show up, because we're limiting the number of people that can come to this. And if you take a place and then you just don't come, it just messes somebody else up that really wanted to be there. So please, I hope you can make it, and just please sign up and be there. Again, Thursday, September 5th, 2024, in case you're watching this or listening to this way in the future, 2024 and 7 p.m. Eastern Time, unlocking the mysteries of dreams and how knowing what we're going to teach can seriously improve your life. Also, my show notes here, the show notes will not only contain the link to the webinar, but all kinds of other important links that I think you're going to like, as well as the website, microdoseu.com. It's microdose with the letter U on the end of it, .com. Let's talk about SSRIs. Again, one of the most commonly asked questions is, Dr. Dave, did you get off of SSRIs? How long did it take? Why did you get off of SSRIs? And I know I've talked about this before, but again, it's such a commonly asked question. I just wanted to touch base with you again on this and share with you some really important things, because in my opinion, SSRIs are not the do-all end-all that you want to be on for the rest of your life to combat depression and anxiety. Do they work? To an extent. To an extent, they work. My life was horrible before SSRIs, and I was on Lexapro. I think at the most I was on 20 milligrams of Lexapro once a day. Before Lexapro, I would wake up in the morning and sometimes not even want to get out of bed, couldn't function, felt this weird, horrible feeling inside of me that told me that, Dave, it's going to be very difficult for you to get on with the day. And sometimes I just couldn't eat breakfast. I stayed in bed. I slept on the sofa. It was horrible. So the SSRIs, once I started taking Lexapro, it did help somewhat. When I say somewhat, I don't know, maybe it got me to 60%. And coming from 20 to 30%, that's probably really good. Double the way I was feeling better. But I didn't want to live my life at 60%. And some days, even with the Lexapro, they were pretty bad. I felt just something wasn't right, so I had to supplement with some diazepam, and that's not good. I don't think anybody would ever tell you that using Lexapro and diazepam for the rest of your life is a healthy thing. I don't think anybody would say that. If they do say that, get rid of them, fire them, because I don't think it's good or safe. So I had to find something else. And that's when I turned to learning about and discovering and trying magic mushrooms. So again, this is not going to be about my whole journey, because I've talked about this so many times, but I really want to talk to those of you and you, perhaps you, that really are struggling with your SSRI. Should you stay on it? Should you start microdosing while you're on it? And if you do, how long until you can get off? Or should you get off of it right away and then start microdosing? So my easiest answer to all this is, and I'll tell you what I did, and I think it's really as it turned out, I think it's really the best way. I did not quit my SSRI and then start microdosing. I really believe that that's a formula for disaster. You're on an SSRI, it's working, whether it's working great or working a little bit, it's doing something. So quitting your SSRI and then starting something new that you've never done before is perhaps a recipe for disaster. It may not work. There's so many variables here. So my advice is no, do not quit your SSRI first. First step is start microdosing. If you don't know how to do it, listen to many of my back episodes here. I share everything, especially the absolute beginner's guide to microdosing magic mushrooms, the absolute beginner's guide. I mean, it'll start you from scratch. But after listening or watching to everything I share, again, I don't want to leave anybody like out there without any help, or just not knowing what to do, or feeling lonely, or feeling like you don't have somebody to guide you. So I do offer one-on-one coaching session if you feel that's for you. If you feel like you just want somebody to take your hand, hold you through all the way, and make sure this is working for you to get to your goals. I offer that. It's fine. I'm happy to help you there. But if you don't want to do that, or don't have the money to do that, that's totally fine. But there are many options, anything from like a 1 hour consultation to like a really great, incredibly comprehensive 10-week program, one-on-one. We'll get you to your goals. There's almost no question in my mind. We'll get you there. But again, that's only for if you want to, if you really feel you need extra, and you want to pay for it. Otherwise, listen to all my episodes. I got so much information for you there. It's incredible. But I would not recommend quitting SSRI. Start your microdosing journey. Learn how to do it. Start your microdosing. If you need help, I'm here for you. And then let's see how it goes. Let's see how you feel. With me, I started feeling really good quickly, but that doesn't work for everybody. Everybody's different. Some people, it takes some time. And there's always things you have to do along with it. And I've taught all of this. So again, go back and check out some back episodes. But you need to do things like journaling. You need to figure out what's going on. So it's not just microdosing, but it's figuring out, and journaling is a really powerful thing to do. And I've taught about that as well. But again, there are many things you need to do on the side besides microdosing. So these things all help. But ultimately, whether it's immediately or several weeks or even a month or two, ultimately, you're going to start feeling better after you tweak this and get it right. And sometimes it does take some tweaking. But once you feel that I'm really feeling better, and the dose you take if you're on SSRI might be a little bit different than if you're not. It could be a little stronger if you're on an SSRI. It just depends. And again, I teach all this stuff. But once you're feeling better through microdosing, and you'll see the difference. You'll see that SSRI takes you to like this level, but microdosing is going to take you to this level. Once you start feeling at a much higher level, then it's time to wean off of the SSRI, and not until then. And I don't think I'm going to explain exactly how to wean, because it's a little bit more complex. And I've done episodes on this, so you can just go back and listen or watch my episodes about how to get off of SSRIs. And I'm very, very comprehensive and very deliberate and very detailed about how to actually get off of SSRIs. It's very important that you do it the proper way, because if you rush it or don't do it properly, again, you're going to get yourself into trouble, and you're not going to feel right. And so it's going to be a mess. So you really got to do it in the right way. But again, circling back to the question I'm asked so many times, when Do I quit my SSRI, or do I need to quit your SSRI? Do I need to quit my SSRI? And again, don't stop until you've proven that the microdosing is working for you, and it will work for you if you're dedicated to this. Now, don't be one of those people that's jumping around to every different possibility. At one time you try microdosing magic mushrooms, and somebody tells you, a good friend of yours tells you how great ketamine is, and you go to that, and then maybe you go to an ayahuasca ceremony, or maybe you try LSD, or I'm just making all these things up, or MDMA, and you're like jumping all over the place. You're not. Nothing's going to help you if that's the case. Find one thing and stick to it and do it until it feels right. Magic mushrooms are my choice. I know them intimately, and I know how to get them to work for people. If you ask me about how to microdose MDMA, I couldn't talk to you on that because I haven't done it, and I don't ever feel that I needed that at all. And I never went to an ayahuasca ceremony. As great as many people say they are, I just never went to one, and I'm feeling fantastic every day. I mean, I don't think it could be any better. There's no way that ayahuasca now could possibly make me feel better than I do now. The magic mushrooms are working, continue to work. I'm into my 4th year. Yeah, 3+ years. This year, oh man, we're working on some great stuff. I mean, we're working on not only some financial stuff, personal health, a little more spirituality. I'm trying to fix a few things that I'm still a little plagued with, but they're minor. My life is exactly where I want it to be, and I'm so thankful that the mushrooms were able to guide me there. They are teachers. They're not a pharmaceutical that a chemical that you take every day and hope for the best. Now, again, I'm not against SSRIs. They have their place. That's why I say if you're on them, don't jump ship, or don't jump ship so quickly. They've got their place. They do work. But I don't think it's a long-term lifetime solution. That's not the path that I choose. Some people choose that path, and it's okay. But it's not the path that I chose. I chose the path that's going to get me to being a 10 in happiness and joy, getting me to all my goals, and just making the absolute best out of my life. That's where I am. And I don't want to spend all this time talking about me. This is not about me. It's about you. But when I share my stories with you and how I did it, you can latch on to what I've already experimented with and done. You can latch on to that. And it should work for you too. I mean, I'm no different. I'm not like some special individual that's highly gifted. No, I'm a regular guy like you. Unless you're a woman, then I'd be a regular woman if I were. Just a regular person. But I'm dedicated enough and devoted enough to have figured all this stuff out on my own. I did the research. I was my own guinea pig. I figured it out. That's why I've now devoted my life to sharing this with you, because I believe you can get there. And if you're watching me or listening to me, most likely you've got some anxiety or depression, or maybe even more than some, or you've got some reason that you want the microdosing to work for you. You've got some reason. And I'm here to help guide you through, because I truly want you to be a 10 in every part of your life. And Dr. Dave, nobody's a 10. Nobody's perfect. Everybody has, well, I disagree. I would have thought that 3 to 4 years ago. I would have possibly thought that. But the mushrooms are teachers, and they taught me that that is absolutely not the case. Okay, please, again, thanks for being with me. Please remember, brand new episode every Wednesday, Friday. Sometimes I have a Monday microdose, like I had 2 days ago. We did a Monday microdose because of this great dream webinar coming up September 5th. Thursday, September 5th, 7 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be phenomenal. You're going to learn so much. And if you miss this opportunity, man, you're going to be kicking yourself. So I hope to see you there. And if there's anything you ever want me to record, let me know. A bunch of you have written into me, and I've done videos based on what you're asking me to do. Like somebody asked me about this. And even though I've spoken about SSRIs before, it's been a while. So I said, okay, I'm going to come back on and reinforce these things that I've been teaching, because there's not an infinite number of things to talk about. When you want to feel better, there are a few things. And if you know these things really well and put them into action, you're going to feel better. Yeah, I promise. I do. So new episode every Wednesday, Friday, sometimes Microdose Monday, or Monday Microdose. Monday Microdose. That's better. That sounds better. I always forget. Okay. See you in the next episode. Love you, Dr. Dave.